That's right. We're drafting live right now. The first Best Ball Mania draft. We're doing it live. Looks like this is unbelievable. We look at these prizes. We're talking about $15 million in prizes, $3 million to first place. We're going to be drafting live in 1 second post NFL draft. Where's Kenneth Walker go? Where's DeAndre Swift go? Where do all these rookies go that just found landing spots? Where do the players go that were affected by the rookies that landed in good landing spots? We're breaking it all down and more. The first Best Ball Mania Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. Draft is right now. File on in.
The FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Welcome to the first post-NFL draft, Best Ball Mania draft. We're doing it live right here on the channel, and we're going to experience together where a lot of these player values are going to be jumping all over the board. So much is going to change walking into this draft. So much I can't even anticipate what's going to be moving around the board based on what we're used to seeing from the last 1 QB draft that we've done. This is 1 QB, by the way. 1 QB. We're not doing Superflex right now, which is kind of a nice breath of fresh air, to be honest with you. I'm excited to have 1 QB back, and I couldn't think of a better place to come experience a draft with you than right here on this channel. So click the link, the live stream or the live underdog link is right here. You need to be signed up. You need to deposit a minimum of $10. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit. Underdog Fantasy. You can use promo code Smitty or just use the link I just dropped in the live chat right now. And you need to be signed up and ready to go. I'm going to wait a second before we jump into the first draft and consume all these spots. So let me pin the link for everybody so they know how to get into this draft. Link has been pinned right now. If you miss out on this draft right now, I'm not doing another one back to back, but if you miss out on this draft, know that you can get in tomorrow when we do it, or Tuesday, Thursday. We usually do them Thursday, Friday, Saturday, guaranteed, but we randomly jump into these in the evening. So make sure you're signed up now, even if you miss out on getting in here. Golf dropping a 20 wad. Matto saying sling it. Yeah, that's right, pal. Matto dropping a 20 wad right from the start. Drafts are back. Good luck. Go Suns. You watching the game live, you bet your bottom dollar I am. Golf. Appreciate you, Golf, for dropping.
Mashed potatoes!
I got to get some cash. But here we go, Golf. Here we go. Golf, appreciate you dropping the wad on screen. Let's get in. Let's get to it, shall we? Click on the Best Ball Mania board. Don't click enter yet. $15 million in prizes. This is a $3 million to first place. Let me review the lineup with everybody. It's 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 1 flex, 10 bench, 1 QB. This is 1 QB. Go ahead and punch the button now. One more. Oh, that loaded stuff. That went so quick. There's 1 spot, 2 spots. Full. They're going to go quick like that, guys. Right now, everybody, they're going to go quick. If you didn't get in this draft, that's okay. You didn't get in this draft, that's okay. I see a couple regular names in here. They're going to fill up with a bunch of randoms too because we're jumping in and out. But jump in one alongside of me. If you missed it, who cares? We're going to go through it together right now. Jump in a draft. Even if you're 5 minutes behind, it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're going to have an update. We're going to have an update on the Kenneth Walker situation. We're definitely going to. Smitty is ducking and weaving. To what am I ducking and weaving to? Just curious if that is you saying ducking and weaving in a bad way or good way. Adam, I'm dropping a super chat here. 2002 champ in the house. Appreciate you, Adam, for jumping in here. Okay, draft starts in 3 seconds. I apparently got, what did I get? What draft slot did I get? 8? I don't know if I like the 8. Let's see how it goes. JJ, first off the board. Let's go to board view, shall we? What's up to test? Appreciate you. Is Seattle secretly worried about Walker? I don't think so. I think Pete Carroll's making a football move. You'll get. I'll have a Walker and Charbonnet video tonight dropping. I don't know if it'll drop. I don't know if I'll do a live stream like at 9 p.m. my time, which would be like midnight, or 11 or do an actual like cut up video. But I think, you know, everyone needs to realize that they made a move that they felt was good for their team. I know all of us fantasy football minds are in a position of like, this is ruining Walker's value, but Pete Carroll did a great job during the draft. And if you're a football team and you want to run the ball and you want to make sure you dominate everybody on the ground, it's not the craziest thing in the world to have done it. It sucks and it ruins Walker's fantasy football value, but they have one of the best running stables in the entire National Football League. How dumb are they really from a football perspective by having the best stable of running backs in the National Football League? I would say not that dumb, but it sucks and we got to adjust and adapt. JT here, I don't mind JT here. I'm feeling a lot better about JT in the 8 to 12 range with Anthony Richardson there commanding under center. Whether he starts in week 1 or not, I anticipate he will, but if he didn't, it's fine. JT's going to have a lot more room to run. Maybe some stuff gets vultured from time to time, but moving the chains is fine. Yeah, Bijan went really high. I don't know if that was one of ours or if that doesn't look like a normal name I'm used to. Oh, no, it's Very Blessed. That's our boy in here. That's Very Blessed. Yeah, that was high. That was high. But, you know, he wanted to get his guy. JT for me at 8, I'm fine with that. Then it went Patrick Mahomes. I don't think that's one of our guys. Diggs, CD. Yeah, Mahomes is a little early. You know, you're going to get one of those top 3 quarterbacks easily on the turn if you wanted to wait. A.J. Brown, CD Lamb, Diggs, Mahomes. Then I took Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Christian McCaffrey, Bijan, Chase, JJ. Yeah, boys, it's crazy. Kenneth Skywalker, I'm saddened. I'm saddened to play the animation. It's similar to when Breece Hall tore his ACL. We didn't want to play that get Breece for a while. We were very, very injured by it, mentally, and so it's tough. It's a real tough pill to swallow. Like even right here, Kenneth Walker sitting there, I so badly just like olden times, just want to smash that button, Man, JT. Okay, so let's go JT and, I'm going to go Josh Allen here and try out this approach, which is going to be a hard one to pull off where I'm not going wide receiver yet and a 3 wide receiver mandatory, but let's see how the team can shape out. Definitely think you're in a huge advantage having one of the big 4 or 5 quarterbacks, but you guys are, I'm drafting with a couple of you, not a ton of you snipers. And so, in retrospect, with a few less of you in here, maybe I should have taken the gamble that Burrow would have fell, but that's okay. We're going to go ahead and roll with the Josh Allen JT combo. JT still has, in my opinion, top 5 or 6 running back upside. Bro, I was kind of sad that Bijan went to Atlanta. I don't know why there's some people that don't like Bijan in Atlanta. What about that Evan Hall pick? What about Evan Hall? It doesn't scare me away from JT, bro. He's going to be fighting for the backup job. Sure, but Evan Hall doesn't scare me at all. JT's going to have a good season. As long as he stays healthy. You can cuff Hall if you want, but what about Evan Hall? Doesn't do anything. Biggest surprise from the draft. I mean, look, the test. It was Kenneth Walker getting his value deflated and kicked in the nads. That's what the biggest negative coming out of the draft was. Max, appreciate you being here. Punch the thumb up button on your way in the door. Max says, ideal 2.12 and 3.1 now. Ideal what? I mean, we'd have to see. You're talking about these picks right here. I mean, great picks right here would be Olave and I mean, you could say Chubb, but Olave, Etienne. Etienne, I'm not sure that Bigsby hurts him all that much. I know a lot of people are panicking about that. Just cuff him. Stevenson escaped the draft. We'll have a who escaped the draft, who didn't video. We'll have a Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet video. We'll have a mock draft, rookie only post NFL draft video. I feel like he would have been great for Dallas, or woulda, shoulda, coulda. Detest, get on board or don't on the Bijan, pal. He's where he is. You know what I mean? So, like, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Kenneth Walker, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Charbonnet, woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like, it's time to move on. We need to move on, adjust, and adapt. We can't linger too long on this kind of thing. And Bijan in Atlanta is fire. I promise you to test. It's a really darn good place. No one wants a committee with Pollard. I wouldn't want Pollard anywhere near one of those big time running backs. Would I have rather had Charbonnet go to Dallas and ruin Pollard? Yeah, because that was a 1-year franchise situation for Pollard. He still could have maybe slipped out of there and gotten a job somewhere, but Kenneth Walker is stuck in Seattle. Charbonnet is stuck in Seattle. You know, there's a lot to be desired there. Let's see here. I'm gonna see what. I'm gonna try 0 wide receiver for the first 3 rounds. Very hard to do in a 3 wide receiver league. Extremely hard. Extremely hard, but I mean, I like the team. Let's just see what happens. There's a lot of wide receivers I like, so this might be a fun strategy. Pollard is him, says Max. Pollard is going to be balling out. Very excited about Pollard's season. Very, very excited. Algier is the new Madison. Yeah, definitely. D-Class, you got to have your notifications turned on, pal. I got it on Instagram. I got it on YouTube. If you miss it on YouTube, you're going to get it on Instagram. I've got a private chat group notifications when I go live on Instagram. I mean, that alone, you'll get a notification for sure. There's so many ways to make sure D-Class, or I'm sorry, was it D-Class? D-Class, you're not missing on these ones, pal. Matt O, appreciate you. D-Class, the link, you know, it's first come, first serve. Get in here. I have no control over who can get in these best balls. We all just got to jump in at the same time. Deuce Vaughn, no, he doesn't affect Pollard. I mean, he's a good cuff. He was a good cuff. D-Class cooking supper. All I hear are draft excuses, D-Class. These are draft day excuses. Who are we going with here, ladies and gentlemen? Who are we going to snag with this pick coming up here? I'm feeling pretty good about my options. I've got man, I'm going to go Drake London. I want to go Watson so badly, but I'm going to go Drake London. I just feel like there's a little bit more security there. Gibbs was a good pick right there at 42 overall. Surprised Gibbs is falling as far as he is. I mean, we're thinking like 3rd round would be a steal for Gibbs, but he might climb to round 2. It looks like Gibbs is settling around 4. So I'm okay with that. Jonathan Taylor, Josh Allen, Najee Harris, Drake London. Those are my selections. Bijan, Barkley, and Chris Olave, very blessed, is a very, very good start. Who's there at quarterback for you? Herbert's the GOAT. Punch you in the throat. I don't know if that's who I'd take there or not. Trevor Lawrence, I like that. I like that better. So I feel pretty good about my team so far. I went really risky, no wide receiver through 3 rounds, and in round 4 took my first wide out and feel pretty solid about it. Running backs are flying off the board. There probably won't be very many good running backs left at all in the next like 3 or 4 picks. So, you know, that's one reason I did what I did. I did have a chance. This isn't my very first draft. I did do one right before I came on here. This is our first draft on live and on the stream. But I did notice that the RBs dried up very quickly with the Walker situation, with all the different rookies that didn't pan out as much as we thought they would. It turned out that running backs flew off the board, and that's why I wanted to try this approach, because I felt like it would maybe fare pretty well. And so far, it's done me pretty good. Kyle Pitts, nice pick, blessed. I like that pick a lot. That's a very, very nice selection. On the line right now is the Isaac. What's up, pal?
You stole my pick, bro.
Yeah, who'd I take?
London.
Yep. Yeah.
So I heard you say I'm going 3 RBs. I literally did the same thing, and I had to queue up the next best receiver.
Yeah, you
ended up getting D-Hop.
Yeah, you got D-Hopping and Watson. I mean, you just stole Watson from me. If you weren't in this draft, I probably would have got Watson, I imagine. So thanks a lot for that.
No problemo.
I don't know who I'm going to take here. I kind of want to look at wide receiver, but I don't feel all that excited about it. I might roll with one of the last RBs to go. I might go Aaron Jones here. I don't really care what people think. Aaron Jones, Swift, maybe back in the equation here. I'm very interested to see where he goes. Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Pittman.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go Aaron Jones. I'm going to go Aaron Jones here. I'm going to beef up my flex a little bit. So I got Josh Allen, JT, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Drake London. Feel okay about that. Not my favorite team. I hate the 8 spot. So, it's not like I'm going to love my team coming out of this draft anyway. I hate the 8 spot. I love that 1, 2, or 3. You're so set. You're so set.
Yeah, I mean, I got 4, and it's kind of on the cusp. I'm not loving it, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean, you got 2 good wide receivers for going running back. You went, he's in the 4 spot. He went Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, ETN, Hopkins, Watson. I don't mind that at all. That's a good start. As far as these other teams here, Jefferson in the 1 slot, Tony Pollard, Joe Burrow, Christian Kirk. Christian Kirk's way too early at 4 in the 4th round. No, thanks. Mike Williams, no thanks. Those 2 wide receivers are cheeks, bro. I don't know who that is. If that's one of our guys, I apologize, but those are cheeks wide receivers, man. For giving this approach, you got 2 times the wide receiver power, I think. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Higgins, Hawkinson, Lamar Jackson. What's this guy doing? He's got no RBs left. That can't be one of ours. Very blessed when Bijan, Saquon, Olave, Trevor Lawrence, Kyle Pitts. That's how you draft. I love your team. You did really good. Travis Kelce, Adams, Nick Chubb, Debo, DJ Moore. There's upside with this team for sure. I just don't think Adams is going to earn that value, which is really hard to say because it's 2nd round. Tyreek, Fields, Jacobs, Kittle, Cook, Cooper, Amon-Ra, Andrews, Jameer, J.K., Jonathan Taylor, that's me. Josh Allen, that's me. Najee, Drake London, Aaron Jones, that's me. Patrick Mahomes, Derrick Henry, DK, Pickens, Pacheco. But the Mahomes at number 9 was not necessary. That kind of threw. But Henry's okay. DK's okay. Not a horrible team. It's kind of unorthodox and unneeded. Diggs, Eckler, Devontae Smith, Ramondre, Judy, Dallas Goedert, CeeDee Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Amari Cooper, Miles Sanders, DeAndre Swift, and the last team, AJ Brown, Hurts. I like that. Calvin Ridley, Kenneth Walker. I like Walker in that territory. We're going to talk about Walker tonight. It is what it is. Everyone can cry and complain, including me. For 12 hours I mourned. Went to the roof, went to the mountaintop, and looked for a vision. Came back with a sense of positivity about our new situation that we're looking at. And you either adjust and adapt, or you sit there and cry and complain and moan about how we lost this or we lost that, or it could have been this or it could have been that. It is what it is. I'm gonna go Darren Waller here. Feels a little early. I'm going to cue him. Hold on. Might change directions real quick. I'll go JSN.
Damn.
I went JSN real quick. I changed directions. I think JSN is tough because he's kind of in the same spot as Addison, where he's got this big dog wide receiver in front of him, but Addison's clearly got the cream of the crop. There's no tougher spot to be in than what he's looking at. So it's not even close to the same level of, this guy's in your way. But,
dude,
I mean,
I think it's a great pick. He's so slippery, man. He's like a Kelsey. He just knows the field well. And I wouldn't even be worried here. All right, I'm up here. I had JSN queued up, followed by Pittman and Godwin. I'm torn.
I'm not going to help you till you're done.
Trust in AR-15.
Yeah.
I'm just talking it out.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. Why is everyone upset about Charbonnet going to Seattle? Walker doesn't need 25 plus carries. He would get hurt. Roger, you'll see my video tonight. It's just definitely not a good thing. It's not a good thing. It could end up being better than people expect. And again, it all comes down to ADP. If you've already this video, I'll do a video on it. I'm going to do a whole breakdown on it. But in a nutshell, it is what it is. If you drafted ahead of, before the draft and you took Walker and best balls, that's in the past. We can't do a single thing about those. Was it good for those? No, it was not. It was not good. It did not help you to have Charbonnet land in that spot, especially if you didn't know to cuff the two together. I have looked at a handful of best balls where I had Charbonnet and Walker, and I actually don't feel like I would probably change a few things, right? Because I could get Walker later. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I love this team still. I absolutely love this team still. It's got Walker and Charbonnet. It still has Kamara. It still has Pacheco. Like, I love the teams with Charbonnet and Walker that I drafted in best ball before the draft. But bottom line is, if you've already drafted in best ball, if you already have a dynasty league where you own Walker, yeah, you got a little screwed. But if you haven't drafted yet and you're in best ball right now, like in this draft right here, and he's going around 4, if you haven't drafted yet in your dynasty startup and he's going to go a whole lot later, there is tremendous upside and value in Walker's newfound ADP. And it's risky, though. It's not a lock. Charbonnet could take his job. You got to try and cuff the two together, but there is some newfound value. And you got to look at it from a different perspective. You're looking at Walker and Charbonnet from a new perspective. If you're going to complain about the old way we were looking at it, you haven't put on your new pair of glasses yet that have the new prescription and lens in them that have Walker and Charbonnet and a different focus. And that's the bottom line. You know, I mourned for a while. I mourned for like 12 straight hours, but it's time to move on and it's time to rock and roll. And your boy's almost up. And I've got a pretty solid team here considering I went late wide receiver shopping in a 3 wide receiver mandatory league. I got Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Najee, Aaron Jones. Very good RBs at my flex would be Aaron Jones. Drake London and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm on deck right here with some wide receivers to choose from. Kind of disappointed that one of my guys went. I imagine he got sniped by one of you guys. Of course, very blessed. This is the tough part about drafting with you guys. Is it literally you try and pull off something to showcase something and then you just get stepped on. What am I going to do here? I guess I'll go Zay Flowers. So I got 2 rookie wide receivers, Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Zay Flowers is my 2 and 3. Ron Navy, you're live.
Hey, Smitty. Yeah, I didn't get into the draft with you guys.
That's all right.
I just missed it. I mean, I tried. I hit the button, but I got into a different one. I got the 8th spot, and out of the 8th spot, I got A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, Jamar Gibbs, Drake London, Dallas Goedert, Rachaad White, and Jordan Addison so far.
Yeah. I mean, sounds good. I got to figure out what wide receiver. Who do you guys like most of all here? Jahan Dotson, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston,
Addison.
Kadarius Toney.
I like Addison the most there.
Yeah, I don't mind him here. This is where he becomes my wide receiver 3-4, and that's the territory that I do like. I think between the 3 rookie wide receivers, I might be okay, but this is definitely not my favorite approach. I hate the 8 pick. I hate the 8 pick. The 8, 9, 10, they're just not good picks. It's just you have a huge disadvantage.
You got the 8th spot, too?
Yeah, it's not a good spot. I mean, you could gripe and complain and make excuses. Yeah, I mean, we can make excuses. We can still win from it, but I'm just saying it's not a good spot to be in. Do we worry with JSN's upside with the crowded wide receiver crew? We just talked about that golf, and the bottom line is it's a different worry than, okay, here, I'm up right here. I guess I'll just go with the 3 rookies. I'm bound to land massively on one of those, JSN, Zay Flowers, or Jordan Addison. I'm bound to just land a top 10 wide receiver. I've got to. You got to think that. So given I got Drake London as well, My team so far, pretty sneaky, but not my favorite. Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Drake London, Jackson Smith-Njigba, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison. Not bad. But what I was saying was Addison has Jefferson in front of him, and Jackson Smith-Njigba has DK in front of him. On a surface level, it feels like both are entering number 2 wide receiver roles, but in reality, DK Metcalf can be flipped into the number 2 there. JSN could become the number 1. Keep in mind that I am not saying Jackson Smith-Njigba is as good as Olave and Garrett Wilson to me at the pro level. But on the college level, JSN was better. On the college level, all 3 were in the lineup at the exact same time, on the same team, in the same season. As a rookie, JSN outperformed Olave and Garrett Wilson by a wide margin. Just blew them away. Had one of the best college wide receiver seasons ever, and did that with Olave and Garrett Wilson in the lineup. Granted, there were some missed games for those 2 guys, but bottom line is JSN balled out. So could JSN overtake DK Metcalf? I'm not saying it's a lock. I'm not saying it has to happen. I'm not guaranteeing that it will happen, but if there is a wide receiver that landed in a spot, and really the only one we can come up with where we're like, crap, is JSN gets JJ and Jackson Smith-Njigba gets DK. DK can be flipped into the 2 if JSN comes to ball. He can. So, like, are we worried about it? Yeah, I mean, we are. We have to be. Like, this is not the most ideal landing spot, Seattle, for JSN. Pete Carroll may have, tossed everyone's fantasy football hopes into a blender, turned it on, and spit out the results, and we're all just like, what in the hell just happened? But Pete Carroll is making good moves for his football team. Like, they're going to be winners because of all these moves, regardless of what we think of them. I get it. I'm so pissed off Charbonnet's not in a good spot. I'm pissed off for his future. As Ron Navy alluded to on one of the last live streams, like, this poor kid doesn't have a starting job now when he deserves one. But from a football perspective, Pete Carroll has the best running back room in the National Football League in terms of depth. I mean, you can only make fun of him so much when you start realizing that you're only on this fantasy level. And like, from a football perspective, it's like, I would want Charbonnet. If I was running a team and I had Kenneth Walker, I would draft Charbonnet. I would. I 1,000% would draft Charbonnet. I don't know if I would have taken him right there in that situation and all that. I'm just saying, I'm not going to say I'm not drafting Charbonnet. Oh, do I take another rookie wide receiver here?
No, I mean, have to if you got Walker, especially if you got Walker, because if Walker gets injured, Charbonnet's the guy.
Yeah, we're going to go over all that tonight. I think I might do it on a live stream, just so there can be some interaction and call-ins after, but we'll break it down in the way that it needs to be broken down. Walker and Charbonnet, and what to do moving forward, what to do if you have them, what to do if you're going to draft them, dynasty, whatever. So,
in the draft I'm in right now, Walker went in round 4.
I've heard him go at 2.11. I've heard him go at 4.2. I've heard him go at 4.5. I heard a couple people say initially right after, like, I just in passing heard a couple different, like, big name people talk about him. And they said, and I heard some people say at least the 5th round. Like, he dropped to at least the 5th round. I have yet to see him fall to the 5th round. Part of that is the suggested ADP rank, though. Like, people need to realize that his ADP will slowly fall and fall and fall. Right now, when you look at an ADP rank like Algier sitting there, Algier, no matter how bad Algier's situation is right now, because he's now the backup, he's still floating at the top because it's using old ADP until there's a new week's worth or a couple days worth of ADP. I think it refreshes every 1 to 2 days, depending on how much data they have. They'll probably refresh it really quickly, a day turnaround, so that everybody can draft off good ADP. But look how Algier's sitting there. He's sitting there at the top. He's just floating there at the top. And it's going to eventually pressure someone into taking him because they won't know who to take. They'll be scrambling around. They're drafting like a grandma. And they say, well, I don't know who to take. I'm just going to take the top guy, Algier. So Walker's been sitting at the top of the running back rankings, and he just sits there. And so I don't think he'd go 2.11 or 2.10 or 3.2 if he wasn't sitting there. So once his ADP drops and adjusts, I guarantee you, his ADP will continue to fall a little bit more before it actually climbs up a little bit.
Yeah, because he went in 4th here. Charbonnet went in round 9.
Yeah, and that's great value. I mean, look, there's no better running back in the National Football League.
That's why I took him in round 9.
I keep drafting Charbonnet. I keep drafting. Here's.
I drafted him.
Yeah. Let's see here. So here's my team so far. I don't mind it. It's not the best team ever. I'm definitely not super, super ultra excited about it. But Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, Aaron Jones, Alvin Kamara, Drake London, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore. Probably will do okay. Is this the winning team? Doesn't quite feel like it. I don't think. Honestly, this is not an excuse. This is just reality. I don't think anybody's gonna have a strong chance. I'm not saying they can't win it, but a strong chance of winning this top prize or being in the top 3 or 4. I don't think you have as good of a shot at all unless you have a top 1, 2, or 3 overall pick. It's just going to be a lot harder to get one of these top prizes. But it doesn't mean it can't happen. Doesn't mean somebody can't draft, the craftiest, player, and they come up and become a top 5 running back, and you end up just having that monster, breakout, which we'll have. And I got a guy that's going to make the Moon Man list potentially tonight or tomorrow that we'll talk about. So
I think Roquan Johnson has a chance to do something in Chicago.
yeah, he does. It's a good spot. Be careful with Spears. A lot of people like Spears. I think he's missing an ACL, if I remember correctly. Like, I'm not going near Spears. Somebody else can have him. I wouldn't take him in the last round.
Yeah.
I need a tight end probably. Yep. First draft, guys. First draft. How you liking it? Phone lines are open. The Isaac, what's your team looking like? Actually, let's go over to Jake real quick. Jake, the Snake, you're live.
Yeah, so I like your draft. I would say with the rookie receivers, I don't know why this is, but I kind of like the guys in the crowded rooms more. Like JSN, I think your thesis on Lockett falling off actually has some merit to it now. I'm kind of starting to switch camps, and I'm getting into your line of thought where Lockett's falling down a lot. I'm going to bet on JSN being better than Lockett this year.
For sure.
And then I like Addison, too. I don't know why, but I feel like with Kirk Cousins, you're getting a lot of passing volume. I'm worried about Flowers because Lamar's a guy who's getting 2,800 to 3,200 passing yards per season. Mark Andrews is eating up 900 of those yards at least, where you're getting Addison going to Kirk Cousins, who's throwing for 4,300 passing yards a season. Of course, J-Jets is going to take 1,500 at least of those. But, with Zay Flowers, you're fishing in a smaller pond. So Jason and Addison.
I hear you, and I think a lot of people understood what how I was trying to frame my Addison expectations. I'm just saying, when I said earlier, which triggered some arguments and debates on the channel, when I said earlier that Addison has a ceiling. He can never be a wide receiver 1. He just can't. Not unless he moves teams and something happens later. But he can never be a wide receiver 1. He just can't. And so that, to me, that sucks when I'm drafting a player, and I certainly am not excited about drafting that player really high. So I feel the same way about Higgins sometimes, where people are taking Higgins so high. And it's like, I like Higgins, especially in best ball when you can stack him, but I can't take him as my 3rd drafted player. And some people can. I cannot. I just cannot. I cannot take a player that has a ceiling, like a governor on it. So like Addison, I took him in this draft. I clearly like Addison enough. I took him in this draft, but I'm taking him as like a third wide receiver. And I think that's sufficient. Like he can definitely earn this value that I got right here for sure. But you got to remember KJ Osborne is still there. There's still going to be, volume, that's consumed. It's not like it's just all going to JJ. So, and then you got to, we're not going to get into the Kirk Cousins debate, but Kirk Cousins has to keep delivering, and Kirk Cousins has to be retained.
Kirk Cousins. You forgot I'm on the line.
Kirk Cousins has to be retained. Kirk Cousins has to continue to do well. Those are all things that have to happen. and they're not necessarily locks in my mind. It's very, very good situation presently. Presently, it's great, but Addison can only do so much. But from where my expectation level, I like him where I grabbed him. Like, this is a good, I got JSN, Flowers, Addison, Sky Moore. I feel okay about my third wide receiver. I think JSN is going to grab a hold of that 2 spot for me pretty well. But I don't love this team. Like, this is not the blueprint to win. Like, the 8 spot's hard.
A quick question.
Yeah.
I know you were big on Hyatt. Are you still big on him with the Giants?
Good landing spot. Love Hyatt. He's going to be one of the winners. I'm going to do a winners and losers rookie show. He's definitely going to be a winner. I think it's a good spot. He could be the number 1 there. Sucks for Hodgins, but
He's
that's
coming up. That's why I asked.
Yeah,
He's
Hodge.
coming up, and that's why I asked before I had the chance to take him.
Yeah, Hyatt's really, really good, and I think Dable is the place you want him to be. That's a great place for a wide receiver to learn and develop from a very smart individual that knows how to develop passing attacks, and I love it. Hyatt's hungry. He's got a chip on his shoulder. Very much feels like a St. Brown. What are you talking smack about me for? I've admittedly been kind of back and forth on him, admittedly. And he's the guy that I said would always lean forward, and you're like, bro, this bro's probably like 6'3", but he looks like 5'10" because he's running like this. He literally runs like this when he's running. It's like, bro, stand up so your quarterback could see you. But he's hungry. He's hungry, and I love his attitude, and he looks quick. I think he runs about a 4.5 flat, roughly. Highest draft capital is too low for you, Hotto. Hotto, I look for your account, bro. Hotto Prime's on his second account. I don't see you blocked. I looked all through it. We found there was another guy that got blocked. Travis accidentally blocked someone on the last live stream because I didn't mean to. So I went in and I undid it. But I went and looked, bro. I'll keep looking. But Hotto, glad you're back. If any of my moderators are watching, don't block Hotto. Hodo Prime. Optimus Prime. Hyatt was supposed to be first rounder. I don't know. I don't know why Hyatt fell. There's no medical concern that I know of. He was very, very hungry, very, very eager to prove people wrong. Anybody that thought bad of him. I don't know why he fell. I have no idea. This is a weird draft. Very weird that the Green Bay Packers take Reed, who I wasn't projecting him to go high at all. I'm not even on him now. Like, sometimes someone gets drafted and you're like, okay, I was on this, but now I'm a little bit more, paying attention. And I look at his film again, and I admittedly am like, I really actually like this kid. I should have looked at more of his film earlier. He slipped past me a little bit, but it's okay. We're still ways away from anything ever kicking off. You can adjust and adapt. We're human beings. It's okay. And I don't feel that way about Reed. I feel like Reed, the fact that the Packers didn't draft Hyatt, I take a breath of relief, because Hyatt was more dangerous to Watson. I still would have loved Watson, but I wouldn't have liked the idea of it, So give me Hyatt in New York, where you can take over that's the landing spot you wanted for like JSN. That's the landing spot you wanted for Addison. Whether we want to argue he could survive somewhere, I'm not saying he can't. I'm not saying he can't even be good. He could be really good. But Addison in New York is what we wanted. JSN in New York is what we wanted. Those are those places. Even in like Chicago, where it's like DJ Moore's right now the guy, but in 2 or 3 years, DJ Moore is going to be that much older. That would have been a better location.
Would you think of Tyler Scott going to Chicago? My boy, man. Yeah, I was happy.
That could be good. What pick was it, Ron?
It was the 4th round.
Yeah,
so he got a little bit of respect there.
Yeah.
He went in the 4th.
Definitely. I think Mingo, in my mock draft, Mingo might be pretty high. I really like Mingo. And he was
picked him up.
And he was somebody I wasn't like, I liked him. I did like him, but I was waiting to see what would happen. I was waiting to see where he was going to go, because that really matters. If Mingo would have went somewhere in the 6th round, obscure place, no real shot, like, then it didn't matter. But if he was to fall somewhere, and he did, where he could be the number one wide receiver, and he can, and he probably will be, and he might be right out of the gate. He could be literally better than Addison. I'm not saying he is. I'm not saying I draft him over Addison. I'm just saying these things happen all the time. And JJ was in the middle of fantasy football drafts. JJ was in the middle, smack dab in the middle. And I'm just going to take Mingo now so I don't get sniped on him. Because I know.
I just took him too. Remember, I took Hurt, and then I took Young, and now I took Mingo to go with him. You know me and my stacking. But you hear how that happened, right? How he got drafted? The freaking, he called Steve Smith Jr. and asked him who he would draft, and he said Mingo, and that's who they drafted.
Yeah. Yeah, I like him a lot. I think Mingo could literally be.
The last draft I took Stroud and some of his receivers. In this draft I took Young and some of his receivers. So, I mean, you got to draft them, right? You got to draft kind of both of them just to cover ground.
Mingo was his name-o. Matt, we might have to make a video for that. Mingo was his name-o. There once a man, he went to Carolina. Mingo was his name-o.
Do you feel like Jacksonville's backfield's getting too crowded, like they drafted his Tank?
Mingo.
Like,
sorry.
What do you think of Tank in Jacksonville? They seem like they're getting a little crowded down there, and I'm worried for ETN.
Who do I think? What do I think of who?
Tank Bigsby going to Jacksonville.
Oh, Bigsby.
I mean,
I meant Tank.
ETN because they're getting crowded.
Well, I mean, they weren't like their running back room wasn't super crowded. They wanted to add running backs, and they did. I mean, Tank is okay. He's okay. He's a guy I liked. I think I talked about, like, you know, if he landed in a spot, like I said, I think I used Kenneth Walker as an example. It wouldn't scare me. He's a good player. Chuba Hubbard, you know, like who cares? It's not going to do anything. ETN, it's a little different in Jacksonville because they want to potentially have a committee, but that's okay because ETN can only carry the ball 14, 15 times a game. That's what you want. So someone's going to come in there and run the ball. It's better Tank Bigsby than them draft a Charbonnet. But honestly, I would have rather, I know this sounds mean, but I got to choose one of my children here. I would have rather had Kenneth Walker be freed up than ETN freed up. I hate to say that, but I mean,
that makes sense.
You know, I'd rather Charbonnet went to Jacksonville and ruined that parade. I would have much rather Charbonnet, and I should have wished for it instead of wishing that it didn't happen. I would much rather had Charbonnet go to Dallas because Pollard is on a franchise tag, and that would have only affected him 1 year, even if it took him out. So, you know, I got what I wished for. He didn't go to Chicago, or I'm sorry, Dallas, but
I felt bad for Sean Tucker because he didn't get drafted and medical issues.
Yeah, Sean Tucker's gone.
I hope he'll be all right and he'll get a chance somewhere.
I doubt he will because, I mean, to be an undrafted free agent, to come in and do something, it happens once in a great while. And the draft, because there's not even draft capital, the value is so low, teams don't care about you. James Robinson, you know, is like that player that, like, you know, you never really have a whole lot of draft value. Arian Foster was the biggest, like, success story, you know, from an undrafted free agent coming in and just grabbing a hold of the job and becoming a monster. It's going to be hard for him to do it. Tucker's going to have a tough time. Where did he go? The Bucks?
Who?
Tucker? Did the Bucks looking at him, or was he even? Let me take a look.
He wasn't even drafted.
No, I know the Bucks are looking at him. I think the Bucks signed him.
Oh,
yeah,
maybe.
Yeah, the Bucks signed him. Tucker, take a flyer on Tucker after. Yeah, it's not a bad place because if he does end up climbing up that depth chart, then, you know, getting him and Rachaad White together isn't a horrible idea. So,
What'd you think about McBride going to Minnesota?
it's too many players there. Even if they cut Dalvin Cook, you have Ty there, and Ty Chandler, and Ty Chandler is gonna have a way of a leg up over him. So we'll see. What's up, Alex Cruz in the house? Almost. I'm on the clock here.
What about Tillman to Cleveland?
He's all right. You know how I feel about Cleveland. They got what's his name?
Well, me too.
Who's last year's rookie? What's that guy's name? Who's last year's rookie wide receiver? What's that guy's name? Last year's rookie wide receiver. Let me look at the depth chart. I'm blanking on his name. He has to climb up. What's his face? David Bell. You know, David Bell. They got Donovan Peoples-Jones, Elijah Moore, Amari Cooper, like Tillman. I don't know. He's a decent stash. Dynasty stash, sure. Expecting much at all? Not at all. I could be wrong though.
Yeah. Ford went to Cleveland too. You think he takes over like a Hunt role or anything?
I don't know. Tough to say. Trying to find a running back here to grab.
I thought running backs would be kind of fun this year, but they're like scared, dude.
Well,
It's like, who do you take after this? Who do you take?
we have a lot of people
All
in.
people even,
We have a lot of people in here that are not a lot, but a handful have said I don't like Atlanta for Bijan. I love Atlanta for Bijan. That was a fantastic spot. We still got on the board right here. You know that this was one of the top 5 spots for sure. That wasn't ever a spot where we're like, oh wait, let's tuck ourselves into it. The Detroit situation unfolded really quickly. It was very easy to be upset about DeAndre Swift, Monty, and Gibbs being in the same backfield, just because even if you don't trust Swift at all, he was still in the way, but they clearly wanted him out. They were clearly going to move him. You know, whether they were able to or not was still a concern for people, but it was inevitable that they were going to trade him. They just don't like him at all. Now, it's like night and day. And Gibbs going in the 4th round, like where did Gibbs go in this draft? He went in the last draft I drafted and he went in the 4th or 5th round. Gibbs, I think, went right at, in this draft, he went right here, 42 overall. 42 overall. So 1, 2, 3, 4th round. Let's see here. It went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4.6. That's crazy. Yeah, 4.6. That's great value. You know, that will climb. That will climb.
I got him in the 4th round.
That's a product of the ADP being kind of jacked up still. Oh, my pick is up. Hold on. Let's take Deuce Vaughn. He's only got one IQ. That's a product of the ADP being jacked up. The ADP right now is running off of old ADP data yet. They don't have anything to go on. It's the first draft. So that's a product of old ADP data. Gibbs is too low, and people are still pressured to not take him any higher because they don't know where to go. They don't know where to go with it yet. But Gibbs will 100% be an ADP climber coming into the next update of ADP data. He'll be a 3rd rounder before next weekend, if not by Wednesday.
Guess who I got in round 17?
Who?
Oh, Chase Brown.
Yeah. He'll be a guy we talk about very soon. I got him at 176 in this one.
He's
He's
going to be a diamond.
Here's the squad so far. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Desmond Ridder, Jonathan Taylor, Najee, Aaron Jones, Kamara, Chase Brown, Deuce Vaughn, Drake London, Jackson Smith and Jigba, Zay Flowers, Jordan Addison, Sky Moore, Jonathan Mingo, Freiermuth, Okonkwo. I still got a wide receiver I need to get. I actually should have got another one, but that's all right. Marvin Mims.
Hey, Chitty.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up, man? I've been on the line for a while. I just haven't, spoken up.
Oh, sorry, man.
I had a question. No, you're all good, bro. I was just being quiet. But I just started a draft today, or like a draft I'm in started today. It's like a super flex 12-man dynasty, and they randomized the order, and I ended up with the last pick. For the last two would like snake into the second round. It'd be the first.
I'm sorry to hear
second
that.
round, but I'll get the last and the first pick. Yeah, it is what it is. But I ended up trading up with my second round pick to get the fifth pick, and I ended up getting JJ.
Nice.
I was just wondering, like, I ended up not getting a quarterback, and like I was like wondering what's your outside of the top 10 QBs, what's your go-to right now?
Outside of the top 10 QBs, in a super flex?
Yes.
I mean, it just depends what I'm looking at. Like, I mean, obviously JJ Chase, and you start going into the Tyreek Hills. Like look right here. So after the top 5 or 6 quarterbacks, I start reverting back to, I'll probably go Trevor Lawrence and Lamar, to be honest. So 5, 6, 7, probably 7 to 8 are all quarterbacks for me. Then I just go back into normal mode. I can't force those quarterbacks there. It's a crappy pick to have, but all you got to do is smash that quarterback spot. You got to just make it a focal point. You got to get Jordan Love. You got to hit it. You got to get Aaron Rodgers later and hit it, you know. And so the best teams I've built from the 8, 9, 10, or 10, 11, 12 draft slots have gone JJ and Christian McCaffrey, or Kelsey and JJ, or Jamar Chase and, you know, Bijan. And those are the best approaches for me. So you got JJ already. You said that was a super flex.
I got JJ. Yeah. I got JJ, and then I ended up getting AJ Brown, who I personally like. I'm like really high up on him. I think he has like a lot of like good years ahead of him.
Yeah, but you took JJ over Fields though, or Burrow. I wouldn't have done that.
No, Burrow was taken. The big four was taken. Like Mahomes.
Well, Fields was there though. I would have taken Fields. I wouldn't have taken JJ. I'm
not as high as on Fields. Like I like Jefferson a lot. Like
I do too, but in a super flex,
really...
in a super flex though, bro, I would have went. If you get a chance to go on, I know you're not high on him. You're not high on him. It's okay. Trust your gut. But for me, like Fields could be number 2 or 3. I would draft him as 5. He's my 5, but he could be 2 or 3. I have no doubt in my mind he could have cups of coffee consistently at the number 1 overall spot, like throughout the season. Of course, guy runs for 100 yards on the ground and a touchdown, bro. This guy could have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground on occasional games. He runs what?
It's so scary though. Like how it's not sustainable, especially in the dynasty format.
Yeah, but he's going to run a lot less now, but he's still going to be more efficient doing it, so it's not going to even be that bad. I don't know. I love Fields. I love JJ. I don't mind you getting JJ, but you really got to develop those quarterbacks well. If you get yourself like a Bryce Young later, that could be pretty good. I don't know that I'd do that with your second pick, but that might be pretty good for you. Might end up okay. But it's a tough spot to be in, bro.
Yeah,
anytime you're not getting one of the big 4 that you love. And if you don't love him, you don't love him. I mean, Trevor Lawrence is great in that format. I don't know that I would have taken him 5, but I would have taken Fields. I would have taken Fields. I love Fields, bro.
I was hoping I could get my hands on Burrow, maybe, but he got taken right before. Or Hurts. I would have loved Hurts.
Yeah, I would have taken Fields. But hey, man, you can still build a monster with that. Let's go over. I'm sorry, that was the 949 caller, right?
Yes, sir.
What was your name, bro? I'm gonna put you in the system here.
Harris.
All right, hold on, Harris. You can hang on the line here. Let me go over to the next caller. The next caller was Alex Cruz, the first ever YouTube exclusive member. What's up?
What's up? How's it going?
I'm good, bro.
Good. I just wanted to call in to kind of talk about why I feel like I kind of disagree with that Bijan selection. I don't think it was a very good selection, to be honest. for the Falcons or for Bijan. I kind of soured on that.
You don't like Bijan in Atlanta? Why? Just because there's no quarterback, or in your mind, or they're not going to move the football properly?
I think the one good thing that you can say is that they're going to try to run the ball a lot, because that's what their head coach likes to do. But I feel like they already got Tyler Algier. He ran for 1,000 yards last season. So, do they still have Cordell Patterson?
Yeah, but Algier and Patterson, that's, like I've said before, it's like Taco Bell meat when you got a filet mignon sitting there marinating in the fridge. Not even frozen. It's got bacon wrapped around it, Alex. It's a filet mignon with bacon. Bacon.
I'm telling you, if Bijan misses a pass pro, I'm telling you, like, they're there though. That's the thing. Like, they're there. They can take goal line snaps.
Everybody's there. Everybody's got a backup. I'm sorry, but Algier is a peon compared to Bijan in terms of. I get what you're saying, but literally everybody has a backup, and you know what it tells me, that offense, having Ritter having struggles like it has, having the concern of what if Ritter doesn't work out. The fact that he did so well, Algier ran so well, is I think a harbinger of things to come with that running game in general. So you put Bijan in there, and you look Patterson's okay. The Falcons have run really well because I think the Falcons have deployed a good run game. It's not just because Algier was great. Algier was good. He was good, and he looked a little better than good because they ran the ball so well. Patterson, he's an old man, bro. And the fact that he couldn't even finish his re-emergent season because he just broke down. I have very little concern that he's going to come in and take away from Bijan. Bijan is the cream of the crop. You don't take away from Bijan, bro. Bijan's a monster. It's like saying when LaDainian Tomlinson was drafted to the Chargers, you were worried about the backups. I wouldn't be worried about it one single bit, bro. Not one single bit.
I hear you, but I don't think they're going to score a lot of. I don't trust Desmond Ritter. Their O-line isn't that great, even though that, like you said, what's his name, just ran for 1,000 yards. I think it wasn't a great pick for Atlanta, and it wasn't a bad landing spot for Bijan, but I don't think it's a great spot for Bijan.
I had it in my top 5, Alex, on the board, still there, hasn't been touched. It was my number 5 of likely amazing spot for him, my 5th spot on my wish list. It wasn't my first, admittedly, but to be on my top 5, like to where I wrote it on the board, I'm like, if we walk away from this draft and he goes at least to my 5th favorite spot, we are ear to ear grin. So he landed in a wonderful spot. I wanted Chicago and Philly. I did. I wanted Cincy if they cut Mixon. I wanted Buffalo in a way, but quietly, like in my heart, I kind of don't know that Buffalo would do what they needed to do with them. So part of me worry about that. Like, does Buffalo just feel like it should be good and it's not really the best spot for him to go? So those are, and I knew Buffalo and Cincy were out because they were very late in the draft. They'd have to trade up. But Chicago, Philly, Atlanta were all in that Bijan Rowe territory. We knew it was possible. We knew it could happen. And it was to design. Unfortunately, we didn't focus enough on the design and blueprints for Kenneth Walker. We just didn't think he was a threat. I didn't know to build a little safety wall around him, bro. I had no clue that Charbonnet was heading there.
Remember. I remember this. You might not remember this, but I remember this. A few weeks ago, on a call, on the Sunday Zoom calls, I said, hey, Smitty, what do you think about the idea of Seattle drafting a running back? Because I've seen them mocked to get a running back, and
crazy.
It makes sense, even though, and everybody's like, no, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, no, you said no, they got Walker.
The crazy talk. It was crazy talk.
I said, I don't know, Smitty. They love running the ball. They have no other back besides Walker. And we saw Walker get hurt last year. Not a huge injury, but he did get hurt. It's a lot of load for just him. They might draft another running back. And everybody said, no, it's not happening. I said,
They drafted 2.
Yeah.
I didn't think.
I mean, I look.
So high.
Look, I am able to wear two hats at the same time, and I could say Pete Carroll has the best running stable in the NFL. Like in my view, because I love both these guys so much, and that's amazing. Like from a coaching perspective, from an NFL perspective, but like I want to throw up when I hear Pete Carroll's name. I want to throw up when I see his face. I'm wearing two hats. I can be objective and say, look, if I was Pete Carroll, I would have drafted Charbonnet too. I would have. If I was worried about winning championships, I would have, because I wouldn't have wanted anybody else to have him. What if the Niners could have taken him, and everybody would have been like, what's going on there? That's crazy as well. But like there was whispers that the Niners liked him. They brought him in. You know, people were saying that on the live stream too. We've talked about that before. And so like Pete Carroll, in one sense, was like, I don't want anyone else to have this guy. And that's the way I would have thought. But I want to throw up every time I see Pete Carroll's name. I want to throw up sometimes when I see the Seattle logo. That's just honest, you know. But is it a horrible move for a coach? Not really. It just sucks.
I'm totally with you.
I just like seriously, like I want to vomit. I feel like I'm gonna wake up from one of those dreams where I'm like, oh, I had the weirdest dream. It made no sense. How did I not know I was dreaming? Like, you know, like how does this not? I'm trying to wake myself up, because this doesn't make sense. It's one of those things that I know I should be dreaming right now, because it really doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Like, why would Pete Carroll do this to us?
But Smitty, it does make sense.
I know. I just explained it. I just explained that from a coaching perspective of football, Alex, I would have done it.
Yeah.
I would have. Yeah. But I don't like it. I'm mad. But we got to move on. We got to move on. We got to move on.
Hey, Alex.
Smitty, what do you think of Rashawn Johnson?
Who's talking right now? Frankie. Who do I think of? Roschon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got upside, bro. Roschon Johnson, Chicago, could be a nice little gem. You know, I still have.
He could beat out Devonta Foreman.
He could, for sure. I still have high hopes that Dalvin Cook or Derrick Henry or Austin Eckler, even though everyone says he's not going to go play in the cold, he'll play wherever he gets traded. I still have high hopes for something like that working out. Michael Mayer, top tight end sleeper. First of all, Rude Boy, he's not a sleeper. He's the number one ranked tight end, or at least number two coming into the draft. But I would say that his landing spot is awful. It's awful. Maybe that makes him a sleeper, Rude Boy. Maybe you're right. You're onto something, because I don't think anybody's feeling real happy about that situation. But I mean, they replaced him. That was good. They replaced Waller. That was good, because they got rid of Waller. It was a stupid move to get rid of Waller. But I didn't want this to be his landing spot, because there's no backup quarterback that's going to, like if Hendon Hooker was drafted, I was going to be a little more excited about Devontae Adams getting a resurgence midseason when Hendon Hooker went in there once Jimmy G gets yanked from the lineup or gets hurt. But Michael Mayer feels like just a waste of a location. Just horrible location. Horrible. So upset about that one. I was picturing Green Bay. I was picturing Detroit. All could have been really, really good spots for him. But
Smitty.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're done answering that question or not.
I don't know. Go ahead.
I got it. I like Gibbs. More than I think Gibbs is in a way better situation. I mean, way better. He's your number 2, right? Obviously.
Yeah, my mock draft is right here, bro. My mock draft I'll have updated very, very soon. This is the current one as of this moment. That I've destroyed and taken apart. You know, so I haven't updated it. I just took Charbonnet out.
He'll be the best running back, rookie running back.
I mean, he could. But Bijan, to me, it's night and day right now for me. Not that Gibbs couldn't get there or something, but Gibbs is the by far number 2 ranked overall rookie to me in a 1 QB, not a super flex. A super flex, I'd probably still go Gibbs, to be honest. But there is a little tear break here for right now, Alex. There's just a little bit. I know you don't like. You're a little biased against Bijan's landing spot. I think you're gonna grow. It's gonna grow on you.
I'm not biased. I just like I don't. It's not like a biased thing. Like I'm just trying to look at it like objectively. I'm trying to like reason. Like I'm not trying to be like do my emotion. I'm not trying to like emotionally, make an argument.
I hear you. I hear you. Guys, I pulled out Charbonnet from this mock draft, but not to remove him from the top 10. He's going to be injected back in. He's that much of a home run hitter that he's going to probably be inside my top 10. And that might be different than most people's top 10, and that's fine. I never follow anybody else. I do what I believe. But Charbonnet will be injected back in. I'm just not sure how I'm going to order it yet. I'm going to do a video on it, so I'm not going to ruin the direction I'm going to take that. But Gibbs climbed to number 2 immediately. Charbonnet was number 2 walking into day 2, but then that all went to crap. But Gibbs is the clear number 2 overall player in rookie-only rankings. He's the number 2 overall and even Superflex in my mind, because I am not as you have to go quarterback. First of all, with my Superflex rankings, I don't just assume you're dog crap cheeks at drafting quarterbacks and developing your team, So I'm not going to just put quarterbacks ahead because I'm going to assume that you do not know what you're doing and you have no quarterback stable whatsoever. So my rankings are going to be best player available. And to me, I have the quarterbacks after those top 2 running backs. I don't know that in a Superflex that I have any wide receivers ahead of like the first quarterback though. I don't love the situations for him. I don't love the wide receivers right now. I like Zay a lot, but I think there were better spots for him, but it was a good spot. Like, we can't be mad about his spot, but we certainly would have rather had a Chargers long-term landing spot. Maybe it wouldn't have been great for his first half of his rookie year, because he's not just going to move Mike Williams and Keenan Allen aside. They got to get hurt, which they will.
But can you play on the outside?
He
can play on the
landing
outside,
spot.
right?
No, I said I like it. I said I don't love it. It's not the best spot he could have gone to. Chargers long term would have been the best spot. Zay Flowers is in a good spot.
Maybe.
Ron, I just said I liked it. Ron, I just said I liked it.
I know, but I figured you would love it because before, with all the stuff with Lamar, you said he's not given the weapons, and Lamar doesn't have the weapons, and now he has the weapon.
It's great for Lamar.
Probably, arguably, the best wide receiver in the draft, and now you don't love that he's there.
I said I don't.
So
I
now
said
you're
I
saying
don't.
you don't have no confidence in Lamar.
Ron, you just put
That's
words
what
in.
it sounds
No,
like to me.
Ron. Lately, you've been putting words in my mouth. You just put so many words in my mouth.
I'm not saying,
You did.
but you confused me.
You just put a whole bunch of words in my mouth that I didn't say. I said he's in a good spot. I said that. I just said he's in a good spot. I love Flowers. He's my number 1 wide receiver in this draft class. But could he have gone to a better spot? Yes. Like, there are better spots for him.
Lamar. I mean, you're the one that had all this faith in Lamar, saying if he gets the weapons that he needs, Lamar to the moon.
Ron,
And now
Lamar's a different conversation. You're talking about Lamar now. Lamar has nothing to do with this.
Okay. I'll shut up. I'll shut up.
Like, Ron, I love Lamar way more with Flowers because he finally gets a weapon. Lamar's no longer floating in that bust territory, but I can't control that Lamar isn't probably going to feed him as much as, let's say, Herbert would have for the long term. I think he can climb into this one spot really fast, but is Lamar going to feed him to the tune of ever becoming a top 5 or 6 wide receiver? Probably not. Probably not. Could he be like Hollywood Brown, top 10, top 12? That's a really good wide receiver. I love Flowers. I love Flowers, and his spot, like I said, his spot's good. It's just
I just figured that you would love the combo of Lamar. There would be no better receiver for Lamar. There
probably isn't though. There probably isn't though. But that doesn't. That's on the other. that's on the other side of the argument, though. That's on the Lamar side of the argument. Like, what's this do for Lamar? It's fantastic for Lamar. It's fantastic for Lamar.
I'll let it go. I just was confused because I really thought that you were like super psyched for that combination right there.
Well, I am to a degree. I mean, he's on the Moon Man list. I haven't taken him off the Moon Man list. I think Zay Flowers could finish and be the best wide receiver in this entire draft class from year one to dynasty. I'm just saying I don't know that he's going to be fed 1,500 yards, 14. I don't know that he can become Antonio Brown there, but he certainly could become better than maybe even Hollywood Brown was. But it doesn't.
Well, what a Hollywood Brown. I mean, I can't remember the numbers, but I mean,
he was like top 10.
Except for Hollywood Brown, I'm holding on to the ball, but
he was like top 10-ish.
Flowers is arguing than Hollywood.
Of course. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I like. He'll be better than Hollywood Brown, but he won't be able to reach, in my opinion, in that offense.
Okay.
He's a little capped from what we would have loved. Like similar to what Alex is saying. I'm not trying to tie this to what Alex is saying really, but Atlanta was my was my fifth spot. You know, like
don't take me wrong. I honestly thought, and I wasn't trying to put words in your mouth, and I'm sorry if it came across.
No,
like
you're
that.
fine, Ron.
You're
passionate.
We're stoked for that combination. I'll take laps. I don't care.
No, it's fine. Ron, it's fine. I guess maybe I implied more like that I loved this landing spot more than I did. I don't know. But bottom line is it's good. The first words out of my mouth were it's a good landing spot. It's a good landing spot. It's not the best landing spot.
All right.
So,
Smitty, were there any great landing spots for the receivers? What receivers had great landing spots?
I don't think...
Mingo?
Tank Dell.
Yeah,
Don't you think Tank Dell did?
Yeah, for Tank Dell, couldn't have been better because there is a path to the number one wide receiver spot. There is. If he becomes who we think Tank could... Mingo definitely could be. Anywhere there's a path to be the number one. Like Addison, there's no path, but he's still going to be good. Johnston, there's a path, but he's not as good as Zay Flowers, and he's certainly not as good as JSN. So it's like his path's there, but is this just another Mike Williams? You know, like I don't know. I'm hoping it's not, but Johnston has probably the best dynasty path. Not maybe 2023, but best dynasty path. Zay Flowers probably is the best 2023 path, but his volume is just not as big as it would be for Zay in a Chargers uniform long term. Downs, Josh Downs in Indianapolis. That is a huge sleeper, guys.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That he could be
a good one.
This could be the best one of them all. Like not. I mean, he actually could be the best wide receiver in this draft class in the long term. I'm not saying it's something you count on. I'm not saying there's even like more than a 30-20% chance of it. But if I had to dig deep and say Tank Dell, that's the deepest I could go. That could be the best, like the craziest bold prediction you've ever heard in your entire life. Tank Dell could be the best wide receiver in the draft class, and he's got a path. Mingo could be the best wide receiver in the draft class, and he's got a path. Those are absolutely asinine, on the verge of insane asylum predictions. But if I had to come up with them, and then the next one above that would be Downs. Josh Downs is a really good wide receiver that had the potential to be in the top 4. Like you could rank him the next guy after the big 3. So Johnston, Addison, JSN. Who's number 4? Who's the 4th wide receiver? I'm sorry. Also, put him 5. Who's the 5th wide receiver? Josh Downs could have been that guy. And he may have just become that guy, landing in a very quietly, impressively, potentially later wide open wide receiver 1 path. You know, Pittman doesn't feel like a wide receiver 1 to me. Feels like I don't know.
No.
Feels like he could be a who's Pittman remind us of?
He's their ex. But is that what you mean?
No.
In terms of one,
like what's the ceiling value, Pittman? Everybody thought Pittman was going to be this number 1 wide receiver. I didn't see it coming at all. It felt like a disaster waiting to happen, and it was. But Pittman's got good value in a certain expectation range. And what is that expectation range?
never
Oh,
been on a
you forgot
Terry
Hyatt. Or you forgot Hyatt.
Yeah, Hyatt's good too. Hyatt could be the number one. He could, in a bold prediction, could be the number one wide receiver in the class. You just never know. If you're digging deep, Kincaid could be the top wide receiver in this class. That guy is a wide receiver, and everyone's worried about Dawson Knox when everybody and their mother hated Dawson Knox last year. Like, there's a time where I remember I'd push Dawson Knox as like, he could be a sleeper bounce back. Everyone's like, he's horrible, he's garbage. And now everyone's worried about him. Like, Dawson Knox may have got paid, but Kincaid is going to run around in this, like, all over the field. This guy, he could line up in the slot. Kincaid is, don't make Dawson Knox block. You know, this is like when, you know, you don't get invited to play outside and your brother does. Like, it's going to be like, okay, blue 32, Kincaid, you go for a pass. Dawson Knox, you block. Kincaid could be something special if they use him right. I don't know if they will. I feel like Buffalo's got a tendency to be strange with how they deploy their talent. But usually the confusion is in the run, not necessarily the receiving department. But I don't know. Kincaid could be pretty good. He could be the second.
Hey, I got a question for Alex. Alex, did you like Algier last year with how he ran?
Yeah, it's all right. Yeah.
So why wouldn't you be big on Bijan running behind that same line and knowing that he's a better running back than Algier? And even if they bring up guys for the box to try to stop him, that opens up London and Pitts, and they got Heineke in case Ritter, fails and doesn't meet expectation. We already know Heineke can get the ball down the field, so I don't understand why you wouldn't be John Bijan. I don't know why you're disappointed. If you liked Algier last year, you should be stoked for Bijan there.
I don't like it because I think it's too crowded. I really do. You might not be high on Algier or Patterson, and I still think their line is mediocre. They have good weapons. I don't think the upside is very high. I don't think the upside. He'll be really high floor, probably, but I don't think the upside is there.
All right,
hey,
you answered my question.
Real quick.
I
Real
love
quickly,
him there.
hang tight. Belichick yourself, appreciate your super chats. Demario Douglas. Yeah, he's I don't know. Isn't he like he's 5'9", 179. Not saying there's a lot of wide receivers I like that are short, but I'm just trying to like come up with the comp for him. 210 overall pick. Draft capital is not extremely high. I don't know. I like him. I think he ran like a 4.4, right? 4.44. I think that's what I'm reading here. 4.44. The problem is I don't like New England at all. I think New England is and Bella, I'm sorry. I think you're a New England Patriots fan, I believe. So you might want to put your earmuffs on real quick. I think it's a place to die for wide receivers until they bring in a competent quarterback. And I do not think that Mac Jones is competent. I think maybe Zappy could be, maybe, and probably not. So it's like until you get the way Bill Belichick's running his offense, double tight ends without having Gronk and Hernandez, as if like Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry were going to work out, and they didn't. Now you go get Gesicki. And I know a lot of people are excited about Gesicki, but this is not an exciting offense to me. So I don't think any wide receiver, even if he becomes the number one there, is like, he's in borderline 800 yards if he has the best season of his life. That's the way I feel about Douglas or anybody that lands there. Juju, none of that. I'm not interested in any New England Patriot but Ramondre Stevenson. And I hope to God the offense still stays afloat enough so that he can continue to get fed and they can stay in games. I think the defense will keep him in the games and they'll be able to keep Ramondre going. But let me just tell you this, Belichick yourself, if you are a New England Patriot fan, Ramondre escaped the NFL draft. Ramondre might be the sneakiest player to draft in round 3 in fantasy football 2023, and sometimes he falls to round 4. We'll have to see where his new ADP levels out as we get some best ball drafts and some data piled on one after the other, because Ramondre quite arguably deserves second round valuation, but he's going in round 3, and I absolutely love it. It's fantastic.
Mashed potatoes.
Ramondre's
I would
a monster.
Go to New England at this point.
You what?
I said I would have rather Charbonnet go to New England, and that's hard for me to say than where he went.
Yeah. Bateman, Odell, Andrews, Zay, run heavy team, says Golf. I think he's talking about Flowers is capped a little bit upside. Appreciate that, Bella. Check yourself. Very blessed indeed, says Tank Dell is a star. Number 1 wide receiver for the Texans. Yeah. Hyatt, as Ron just reminded me, Hyatt is 1. Tank Dell is 1. Josh Downs is 1. Those are all really, really sneaky wide receivers, I think, that have the potential to not just be like kind of good finds, they could be like the surprises of the draft. Tank Dell is a fluid, smooth little guy, but just absolute fun player to root for and watch. And this wide receiver class is all very small. You know, like Quentin Johnston, I'm bigger than Quentin Johnston, and he's this monster in this draft class. Like I think he's what is he, 6? I think he's like 6'2", right? Quentin Johnston.
No, he's taller than that.
He might be 6'3".
I thought he was 6'4".
No, he came in a lot shorter. He's 6'3", 208. So he's a tiny bit taller than me, half an inch taller than me. I weigh about 10 pounds more than him. No, I guess now I'm losing LBs. I'm about 7 pounds more than him. He's not a big guy, but he's the biggest wide receiver pretty much in this class. He's thought to be a monster because this class is so small. They're tiny. But you know what? Tiny wide receivers are thriving. Look at the tiny running back, 199-pound Jahmyr Gibbs, who I think will play about 205, 206. I do think he'll add some NFL weight because you got pro trainers, you got pro facility. You're getting fed. You're living at the stadium and in the workout rooms. Like, you just got a whole lot more going on. You know, it's your full-time job now, so you're living there. You know,
Alabama.
So 205.
Tyler Scott.
What about Tyler Scott?
You like that pick for Fields?
Yeah, it's decent. It's decent.
He had pretty good production. I think like nine touchdowns he had.
How do I like my draft from today? Golf. It's okay. I don't love my team. My team's all right. I don't love it. I went over the teams kind of already, so I'm not going to go over them all again. But you know, Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Ritter, JT, Najee, Aaron Jones, Kamara, London, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Pretty much all the rookie wide receivers. It's just grabbed. I just don't like that spot. When I get that 1 or 2 overall pick, let me show you my team I drafted right before. I've only done 2 drafts so far on Underdog Fantasy. These are my 2 manias. My first one I did right before I went live. I just wanted to kind of get a feel for the ADPs before I jumped in with you guys. It was Joe Burrow, Aaron Rodgers, Kenny Pickett, Desmond Ritter. Those are my QBs. So feel really good about the QB room. I went the opposite that I went in this draft. I went wide receiver only in quarterback for the first 3 picks. So I went Jamar Chase, Olave. And my running backs are Jahmyr Gibbs, Pacheco, Kamara, Charbonnet, Chase Brown. My wide receivers are Jamar Chase, Olave, Addison, Sky Moore, Jalen Hyatt, Josh Downs, Kyle Pitts, Cole Kmet, and Shoemaker. So, okay. It was an okay team. It was my first run at the new Best Ball 80 or the new Best Ball Mania. So it was a decent run at it. I think I could do better, but I didn't mind that team.
Oh, the first team I drafted committee stunk. I mean, we were drafting pretty much at the same time because when you messaged me, we were both in there. But I think I did better with this last one. I mean, this last one from the 8th spot, I think. I mean, I liked it a lot better. I'm surprised you took Pickett. I took Jalen Hurts and Young, no Cousins. Those were the only 2 quarterbacks I took. And then I got Gibbs, Rashad White, Charbonnet, Brian Robinson, Kendry Miller, Chase Brown, then A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. So I got my stack.
Yeah.
London, Addison, Sharp.
We could celebrate
Bingo.
that too, Smitty. Rashad White beat the draft.
Yeah, Rashad White. I'm gonna have a who beat the draft or who won because of the draft and who lost. But here, real quickly, this is the other draft. This isn't the draft we just did, but it's very interesting to see these values. So like J.J. McCaffrey, Kelsey, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill, Bijan went 6. That's about normal. I think Bijan's gonna go between 6 and 10. Going forward, 6 and 11. I think Ron said he had him at 11. Diggs, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Adams, A.J. Brown, Amon-Ra, JT. JT should be a staple between about 10 and 11 or 12 now. And I think Anthony Richardson really solidifies his value a little bit. CeeDee Lamb, Josh. Amon-Ra went 11. CeeDee Lamb, Josh Allen, Garrett Wilson went 15. I'm finding that Garrett Wilson's falling back into like the 13, 14, 15, 16 territory, which is fantastic. I don't really know what the reasoning is for that other than Amon-Ra climbing and maybe JT climbing. I think those are the two players that are bumping everybody down, which is good. Bijan going up and solidifying a top 8 spot also. But that's good for Garrett Wilson because now he has the ability to potentially earn his Moon Man and Mars Man value because he's no longer your first drafted player in the 10 spot, 11 spot. So Garrett Wilson at 15 is fantastic. Eckler 16, Barkley 17, Breece Hall 18. Breece Hall probably will climb now that Walker's falling, unfortunately. So Breece Hall was a 3.1, 3.2, maybe a 12.12 pick. No longer. It's crazy. One move like that, one simple change in evaluation, Walker dropping out of everybody's second round, bumps Hall up to 18. Not just to like 24 or 23. It bumps him up to like 18, 19, 20 because he becomes one of the only second-round running backs you want. Barkley, Breece Hall, Eckler if he falls. Those are your second-round running backs. Nick Chubb maybe. Olave 21, Mahomes 22, Nick Chubb 23, Derrick Henry 24. I think Henry and Nick Chubb both climb a little bit because of Walker. People just getting scared about the RBs. Tony Pollard in the third round. Kenneth Walker went at 3.2. Which I feel, again, is a product of the ADP suggesting it because he sat at the number 1 overall recommended pick for a while. And eventually someone feels like I better take him. And I think once his ADP... Well, I mean, there's
did a lot of work, man.
There's an overreaction. There's an overreaction to it for sure, and I'll cover that. But there definitely needs to be a reaction. Like you can't draft him at 15 anymore, at 18. Not because you can't.
If anybody's value is gonna hurt, it's gonna be Charbonnet first, right? Kenny's gonna start.
Yeah, but what happens in week 5 or 6 if Walker gets banged up a little bit, Charbonnet comes in and explodes? Does Walker just get his job back? There's a lot of risk involved, but if you cuff him, it should be okay. I don't think Pete Carroll's gonna lean running back by committee. I think he's gonna have his workhorse. He doesn't really have that rotation. He kind of goes with one. And while there will be some spelling going on, and he does actually say he wants to use both of them, like on third downs or whatever, whoever's starting will be getting fed enough to not worry about it. So I think if you cuff the two, and I'll go over this in the video tonight, but if you cuff the two, you should be fine. And the beauty is you're cuffing them in the 3rd or 4th round, or you're grabbing Walker in the 3rd or 4th round. If you have to grab Walker in round 2, you're not understanding the assignment. And if you grab him at the top of round 3, I think you're still not understanding the assignment. But if you grab him at like late 3rd, early 4th round, you are baking in a lot of risk. But we'll go over that in a little bit. Josh Jacobs in the 3rd round, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Devontae Smith, Justin Fields, Ramondre Stevenson is a steal in the 3rd round. I like that. Top of let's see, DK, Debo, Hawkinson. Round 4. I mean, Christian Watson's still living in round 4. Najee at 41 still living in round 4. Drake London is climbing from round 6 or 5 to round 4, which sucks, but it's still great value. It still is. ETN in round 4 is fantastic. Jahmyr Gibbs, that's the shocker. And again, I think a product of the bad ADP data that isn't updated yet. Not bad because Underdog's ADP is the best, but this was like one of the first drafts. So they're going off of the pre-draft ADP until they get an update. So Jahmyr Gibbs at 45, that won't last. Expect to pay 2-3 turn value for him like in no time. Anyway, I wanted to go over some of those values before I jumped. I'm probably not going to be here much longer here. We got 142 of you in here. Please punch the thumb up button. Subscribe if you're new. Let me go around the phone lines real quick, and then I'll be back for the Kenneth Walker Charbonnet video. Alex, you got any final thoughts, bro? Alex? We'll come back to Alex.
Yeah. I think that Walker's going to be okay. I think he's going to be okay.
Well, especially at his value, yeah, probably will be. And just cuff him, bro. Cuff him. Charbonnet's, we got proof right now. Charbonnet's going really late. You can cuff him. You can reach a half a round and not feel like you're wasted too much value. Just make sure in future drafts you cuff Charbonnet, and you'll be okay.
Yeah, cuff.
All right, Alex, call back tonight.
See you, man.
Belichick, yourself. Final thoughts.
Yo, what's going on, guys? Yo, first of all, Pete Carroll makes me sick to my stomach, too.
Me too.
He stole the star running back from us. Second of all, I'm not the hugest Mac Jones fan. I really don't like him too much, but I have to always look on both sides of the fence. It's sort of like, not talent-wise, comparing him to Fields by far, but Mac had nobody to throw the ball to. So as much as I get on him and his decision-making, I have to also think that was the Patriots setting him up for failure. Not having an offensive coordinator and that too. So I'm looking on both sides of the fence, and I feel like this team really did a good job in the draft with Gonzalez and stuff. So I'm looking like, let's just not just throw him under the bus so quick. Let's just see what he does. I really like Douglas. I've been following him.
Thanks, Golf.
He's actually a good wide
Appreciate the
receiver.
super chat, Golf.
For my taste, but he's extremely talented. And that's just my goal.
So I guess my only rebuttal or my follow-up would be, my cross-examination, if you will, would be like, do you really feel like that wide receiver problem you just described was solved, though?
No, not at
Yeah,
all.
so
but
that-
it's better than what we went in with last year.
True.
We had Kendrick Bourne. Jacoby Myers. Okay, but we traded him in for Juju. Juju's a better receiver than Jacoby Myers.
But how is he gonna get a long enough shot, to a big enough crack at this to do well before he gets yanked without having an upgraded wide receiver room? It's upgraded, but how much, man? It's still cellar dweller wide receivers, man.
Trust me, dude. I wanted to get rid of Mac myself, so don't get it twisted. I'm
not
really
twisted
not happy with him.
I'm not twisted. I'm just saying, you're saying give him a shot. How am I going to give him a shot when he still has no wide receivers? He has maybe a little bit better room, but he's going to fail. If you're saying he's set up for failure, how is he not set up for failure again? So then my question is, how am I supposed to do what you just said, which is, and Belichick yourself, believe me, bro, I appreciate you. I'm not going at you. I'm honestly asking.
No, I know.
How do I give him another chance? Like if you were to say, give him another chance, Smitty. Okay, I will. But he doesn't have that much of a better situation, so I don't see how he's going to succeed. So I don't know.
I just gotta do get my Ron Navy on, man. I gotta fight for my team, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. What I will say, bro, is that if you guys would have got Lamar, and then when it would have traded for Hopkins, you'd be Super Bowl contenders.
Exactly. Me and you've been talking about that for months, bro. Trust me, I wanted that too, but that looks like that's totally not in the picture right now.
It's done. It's gone. But you could have been a Super Bowl contender if you would have traded a measly second-round pick for Hopkins and signed Lamar Jackson to an offer sheet and said, who cares about our number? Who'd you even take again? At your number
17 overall?
Gonzalez. A good pick, but, would I have rather surrendered that pick and your future first-rounder for Lamar? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I would have go to a third-round corner. Get a third-round corner, coach him up, get rid of this.
Gonzalez is nice, though. He's nice, but Lamar Jackson, of course.
He's nice, but I'm trying to pump you up a little bit and just say, like, it wasn't all dead for you. I think it's going that direction now, unfortunately, but you're fighting for your team. You've got passion for your team. All you needed was that Lamar move. You were this close, bro. I just wanted you to know, you were this close, and it could have been a great year.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah, maybe the defense does it. Maybe Bill does it again, bro. Just defense. Who knows, bro? Who knows?
I would retire from be the head coach. Just retire from being the GM, bro. Like, get somebody else to do that for you. Sit back and getting older. You done won 6 Super Bowls. Calm down just a little.
Did he command his war room by himself in his mom's kitchen again? Is that what he did? Did you see the war room?
Yo, he was eating his meatloaf and drinking his milk.
Oh God, he probably fell asleep before the draft came to a conclusion. He probably wasn't even there. All right, hey Belichick yourself. Appreciate your super chats. Appreciate your enthusiasm. I'll be rooting for your Patriots. Hopefully they can turn it around somehow, some way. Hopefully Zappy's like just magical, comes in and just takes Mac Jones' job. And
I like Zappy over Mac Jones, to be honest.
I do too. All right, bro.
All right, Brody.
Later. Appreciate you. Frankie Knuckles, final thoughts.
I would just, I'm hoping Rashawn Johnson. I'm hoping that turns into something. I like that guy. If he wasn't behind Bijan, he would have did a lot better. I feel.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people like him, so it's not like he's flying in under the radar and nobody likes him. Like a lot of people agree with you. They think this is a good spot, good location, could be the sleeper running back of the draft class. A lot of people feel that way, and I don't disagree. I'm going to be breaking it all down for you. Don't worry.
And Rashad White, he beat the draft. That's what I was hoping for. And they even got a couple linemen too.
Yeah,
for him.
Could be good for
So
Rashad.
I'm hoping they turn it around.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Smitty.
Harris, final thoughts. Hello? All right, Ron Navy, final thoughts.
I'm here.
Bella, check yourself, man. You guys had like a long run, man. So you guys need a little time to rebuild. You guys will be good, but give it a year or two, You can't win it every year. And Smitty, did you feel like I did? We did so many super flex, big board drafts that coming into this one felt weird as heck.
It felt
with
good,
these
though.
Players and trying to sort.
Felt good,
It felt
though.
great, but it
Yeah.
still was weird. I just was like, just a different vibe.
Yeah, I like Superflex. I wouldn't mind rotating, but I got Superflexed out. I'm very, very excited that one QB's back. And that means the Garrett Wilson autograph jersey contests, private drafts are back. So we'll start those on Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We're going to always do that. Real quick, Ron, hold on 1 second. Harris, you are back, I think. What are your final thoughts, Harris?
Yeah. My bad. I was muted. I just want to get your opinion on who would you rather pick if you had to pick between the two, CeeDee Lamb or A.J. Brown for Dynasty?
I'm going to be honest, bro. Those are two wide receivers that I pumped up big time on this show. I mean, big time. CeeDee Lamb's been Moon Man material. Get Lambed. We've got a lot of stuff that goes on with that. Where do I have that? I think I got Get Lambed somewhere. I think I got it somewhere, bro. Where's my Get Lambed? Hold on here.
Get Lambed.
That's a good one. Get Lamb.
So I clearly love Lamb. AJ Brown's a tripod man.
The tripod also likened to pyramid.
So clearly I love both these guys. So I don't want this to come out the wrong way. But these are two wide receivers that in Dynasty, I'm not looking to sell like cheap or anything like that. I'm not like dying to get out of the either one. But if I can, I'm definitely looking to go like London and upgrade in another place and go get something huge. It's just for some reason I feel I'm a little worried about AJ Brown's knees, and knee issues usually don't get better; they just get worse. Especially when you start cutting cartilage away, then that knee is off kilter, and it's like going into your brake pads and one of your brake pads being lower than the other. If your left side of your knee's lower, like you're just going to have a lot of long-term inevitable problems. So like I just worry about AJ Brown, but not to the point where you panic and you just pull a knee-jerk reaction type trade. But if I could get a Watson or a London and get some kind of upgrade somewhere, maybe you take a Trevor Lawrence and turn him into Fields to downgrade CeeDee Lamb into Watson, or London. Like those are the kind of things I'm talking about. Like really crafty, very complicated, and you have to really be on your game to pull off something that makes sense, because Lamb has first round value right now. AJ Brown has first round value right now. You have no business trading those guys, even in Dynasty, for a guy ranked a round lower, unless you're getting something out of it. So that would be. But if to answer your question, I guess I would choose. That's a tough question because Lamb. I feel like I'm a little worried about Dak. I'm a little worried about McCarthy. I'm a little worried about the Dallas Cowboys.
I'm nervous about Dak's play.
I'm probably going to go with the Philly
Like, if
offense.
Dak's gonna keep putting it out like that.
Who feels like they're set up for the next 5, 6, 7 years? Philly. I'm just going to go with the Philly offense, man.
I feel like Philly's set up for like a solid 7 years,
Yeah. Twice.
and it's just up to AJ Brown's knees.
Yeah, bro. Appreciate you. All right, Harris, call him tonight.
All right, see ya.
Later. Didn't mean to kick him off. But I do have to go grab something to eat. Ron Navy, final thoughts. Final thoughts.
Yeah, it wouldn't be me unless I ended my final thoughts with Steelers had an awesome draft, and I love seeing they came out and said the Vegas said the Steelers after their draft it increased their winning percentage by the most of any team in the NFL. I love that. And with that, have a good one, Smitty.
Ron's sleeping like a baby tonight. Hey, I will admit that the Steelers had a very good draft. I think the Lions people are critical on the Lions draft. I think the Lions reached like a madman. You know Dan the Grim Reacher? In our drafts, he reaches for everybody. I think the Lions, they got a hold of his playbook and they just started reaching like crazy the whole draft. But at the end of the day, they still had a very good draft. Like people ripping on the Lions, they got Hendon Hooker. That was the safeguard move I've been talking about. That was fantastic. Hendon Hooker sitting behind Goff. In case Goff goes down, the Lions could still win games. This is a really good quarterback that was arguably the third ranked quarterback in this draft class. At least would have been in my book had he not tore his ACL. I really, really like Hendon Hooker in Detroit. Very solid move. Gibbs, we all love that move. They were early on him, but we saw the reports. There are all kinds of rumors saying that there are a couple teams, the Jets being one of them, I don't know what that was about, that were interested in taking him in that teen range. And it was like can you imagine if Breece Hall, if that happened to Breece Hall? To be honest with you, I don't know which one I love more, Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker, and both of them are painful to think about. But Gibbs going to the Jets would have been awful. And there was rumors and there were rumors even before that a bunch of teams had Gibbs higher than they had Bijan. There was like a handful of teams. So the Jets taking him at 12 wasn't the craziest thing in the entire world. They got their guy. And I think the Jets draft was actually pretty. I'm sorry, the Jets, the Lions. The Lions draft was pretty darn good. So I'm going to say the Seahawks, even though we hate what they did, they had one of the better drafts, unfortunately. Blech. Just want to throw up
I
on
think
them.
Houston killed it.
Houston.
You got to throw
Philly?
Houston, Philly
Philly's
crushed it, except for Swift.
These people.
But they didn't draft, so I'm not afraid.
These Eagle haters. These Eagle haters,
I
bro.
love the Eagles.
No, I know. These Eagle haters, though. Like, who watched? The Eagles are unraveling. They lost all these people in the offseason. They're unraveling. The Eagles have stepped it up. I know you don't like DeAndre Swift, but the option of what he could provide if he stayed healthy, to get Swift, to get their defensive players, like this Philadelphia Eagle team is better than it was last year, and it's going to be amazing to watch. And they've got a fast pass.
It was really a disappointment in the fact that we were hoping Gibbs ended up on Philly, and Gibbs ended up on Detroit, and Detroit ended up, Swift went to Philly, who should have had Gibbs to begin with. That sucks.
Well,
but it is what it is.
Hopefully it works out for both running backs. We'll have to see. There's a lot of people that love Swift. The crazy part is, Ron, you came in all hot about hating Swift in the last live stream. I felt like I defended him.
I always have.
Yeah, and I felt like I defended him a little more than even I had to, because I had some hate coming around on Swift, and I was just saying there's upside if he stayed healthy. And then, but I was a little bit pessimistic of it too. I had people in my comments. There's a string of like 15 messages going back and forth with people saying, "Why does Smitty hate Swift? Why did Smitty so down on Swift?" Like, how was I down? I was in there defending Swift in the live stream. Like, I don't know. It's crazy, bro. All I know is
Flounder didn't call in.
Yeah. It's everything's full circle though. But hey, but Flounder wasn't right. Flounder wasn't right. Flounder was proven 1,000% wrong before the season even kicked off, because Swift fell to the bottom and then got thrown out of the situation. So for him to have liked Swift more, he definitely was proven wrong. But full circle, if he had made that commitment, Swift might fall right on top again. But we'll see. All right, Ron.
Well, it's like I told you. It's like I told you in the private message. If I give Swift enough garbage this year, maybe he'll actually do good and
keep it up.
Appease all you Swift lovers out there.
Yeah, keep it up. But see, I'm not even a Swift lover. I was very lukewarm on him, and it was so funny that the chat either thought I was like you and a couple people were like, you just love Swift, and then a couple other people were like, Smitty, why are you so down on Swift? Why do you think Swift's not a moon man? Why do you think Swift is risky? And I'm just like, I'm getting hit from both sides. It's the nature of this thing. It's fine. I'm not mad about it. But it's just like, why do you like Swift? Why do you hate Swift? Why do you think? It's like, well, I can't win. I'm literally saying I think Swift has great upside.
You're stuck in the middle.
But he's got great risk. With Swift comes great responsibility. All right, I got to get out of here. I'll be back for some other live stream. Kenneth Walker probably related. Later. Appreciate you. All right, everybody, I'm out of here. Appreciate you. Thank you for all the super chats. Nick dropping a super chat. Thoughts on Tucker to Tampa after undrafted? Hopefully his medical stuff gets worked out. We hear it's a heart-related issue. We don't even know if he could be cleared to play football if football started tomorrow. That's the problem. And so he's sitting on the Tampa Bay roster, apparently trying to get cleared. We'll see what happens. But Nick, I appreciate you dropping that super chat. Golf, thank you for dropping your super chat. Golf says, I still love Walker. Charbonnet reminds me of Herbert. I think Charbonnet is a win a league player still. And we'll talk about that from a whole new angle and perspective. It is what it is. Golf, thank you for all those super chats. Very blessed. Belichick yourself. Golf. Belichick yourself. Golf. Max. Adam. Golf. Appreciate all your super chats. Golf, especially dropping that one at the top. Making it rain from the beginning of the show. Appreciate you, Golf. Thank you all. See you tonight. Ron Navy dropping a 20 watt, I think, right on the screen there at the end. Ron Navy to the moon. Look, and I know a lot of people think Ron Navy and I are going at each other lately. I don't know. I don't know. It called brotherly love. I need downers. I get too animated, but I love debating. It's okay. People love the debating, Ron. They wouldn't come here if it weren't fun to watch. Ron Navy making it rain. Appreciate you. Always do. Never mad.
Hi, my name is B. John Robinson. I like long walks on the beach. And, well, I also like scoring.